I grew up in Miami, Florida. I was born and raised here. My earliest awareness of art was probably around, I would say around elementary school, and I was in ballet for several years. On top of that, I was always surrounded by music because of my parents. We always had music playing and we always had movies playing. So I was always surrounded by those creative juices, if you can say. As far as interior design, it's pretty funny because I don't remember when I was younger what awareness I had of that. It just kind of came from one day to the next. But my dad is in construction, so the house was always filled with his construction plans and stuff, and he would always tell me like, oh, this is this and that. So I used to go to my room and make my own plans of my room and try and practice that way. But I didn't realize it until I started or I applied to the program, that I was like, oh, I actually used to do this when I was little. And it didn't hit me that maybe, it was always in me. I just had to find myself.
I was actually born in Cuba. I came here when I was 3 years old to Miami, and I've been raised here ever since. My family is actually the opposite of the arts. Everybody is in the science field. Everybody's a doctor, a pharmacist. So I have kind of had to break free from that a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly when I did. But I do remember we moved a lot, and my mom always needed help decorating and just setting up the house and things like that. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. But I remember it was actually really difficult for me to decide on this field because no one in my family understood that art was a form of a profession, and I kind of had to break through that medicine is the only route that you take. So I don't really have a history with art. I never took any kind of music or dance classes or anything like that.
I was actually born in Pittsburgh, but I grew up here in Miami my whole life. And my dad actually went to college in Pittsburgh for architecture. But my earliest awareness of art was when I was younger. I just would draw at a very young age, and my parents were always really shocked by how well I was drawing at so young, and they just started putting me in art classes, and I really loved it. And then I kind of let it go when I was in my teen years, but then once I started growing up and becoming the person I am today, I and taking influences from my dad, being that he is an architect, I really started accepting that I wanted to be a designer, and now I'm here.
I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Born and raised in the same house my entire life. I'm 23 years old. So I've been in the same room. I've always, when I was younger, my favorite elective in elementary school was actually art. And I would just spend so many hours just drawing and painting and sketching. And I really loved just really delving into that field when I was little. And then I remember being introduced to the Sims game, and I spent more time actually building the homes than actually playing the game. And I remember growing up, I kind of drifted away from that, and entering college, I thought that I wanted to do something in the medical field, and quickly realized that I was only heading in that direction because everyone around me was heading into the medical field, and I thought it was the right decision for me, and quickly realized that it wasn't. And I've always just been very creative and artistic. And I just remember just being at a park one day for a family event and overhearing a conversation that my aunt was having with my cousin, because she was about to get into college and she was listing different types of careers that she could get into. And she mentioned interior design, and I'm like, oh, I could do that too. And so that's when I applied to the program at FIU, and I've been loving it ever since. I definitely feel like I've found my passion for it.